This situation confuses most learners. Three vehicles arrive at an intersection, everybody waits and no one knows who should move first. And the examiner is watching closely. In this video, I will explain how the right before left rule works when three vehicles comes to an unmarked intersection. With this video, you will understand who moves first, how the sequence works step by step, and how to avoid hesitations when we are driving through unmarked intersections where three vehicles come to an intersection at the same time. So once you understand this rule, this situation becomes simple and controlled. So now let's understand what the core rule says. So let's start with the core rule. So even if we are driving to an intersection and if there are three vehicles, we need to check if there are any traffic signs, we need to check if there are any traffic lights, and lastly we need to check if you are driving on a priority road. If none of them apply, we have to use the right before left rule. So even if there are three vehicles, the rule does not change. But here's the key idea. Priority is checked one by one. At any moment, the vehicle with no one on its right will have the priority. So as we have understood right before left rule clearly, in simple we can say that if there is a vehicle coming from the right hand lane, he will be having the first priority. So if you want to know how exactly right before left rule works, I have created a separate video on this topic, so you can watch that video. So now let's look at this intersection. So here we are driving at an intersection, and now there is a red color vehicle coming from one lane. At the same time, there is a green color vehicle coming from the another intersection. And now there is a yellow color vehicle coming to an same intersection. So here we have three vehicles coming to an intersection. Now in this case, the red color vehicle wants to go straight. Additionally, the green color vehicle also want to go straight. And lastly, the yellow color vehicle also want to go straight. So now here we might be having a question, who will go first or who will cross the intersection first. So now here we have to use the right before left rule. So before using the right before left rule, always remember to check few important things. Firstly, we need to check if there are any traffic signs. Then we need to check if there are any traffic lights. And lastly, if there are any priority signboards. If none of them applies, we have to use the right before left rule. In our example also, as there is no traffic light, no traffic signboards, and there are no priority road, in that case we have to use the right before left rule. So now from this intersection, there is no one coming from the right hand lane for the yellow color vehicle, which means that he will cross the intersection first. And as soon as the yellow color vehicle will cross the intersection, there won't be any vehicle coming from the right hand lane to green color vehicle, which confirms that he will be given the second priority. And as soon as the green color vehicle will cross the intersection, there won't be anyone coming from the right hand lane for the red color vehicle, which means that he will cross the intersection third, or he will cross the intersection last. So now if you follow this order, this confirms that the yellow color vehicle will cross the intersection first. As soon as he crosses the intersection, the green color vehicle will cross the intersection second, and as soon as he crosses the intersection, the red color vehicle will cross the intersection. At each moment, the situation resets and you check the situation again. So think of it as a dynamic process, not a one-time decision. So now let's understand when this rule does not apply. So whenever we are driving to an intersection and if you see following, then in that case this rule will not apply. So if you are driving to an intersection and if you see a stop sign or a yield sign, in that case this rule will not apply. Second, if there are any priority road signboards, in that case also this rule will not apply. And lastly, if there are any traffic lights, in that case also this rule will not apply. This always override the right before left rule. So now let's understand what are the most common German driving exam mistakes. So here are some of the common German driving exam mistakes. First, all vehicles are stopping and no one is taking initiative. So instead of stopping at the same time, what we have to do we have to check if someone is coming from the right hand lane. So if there is someone who is coming from the right hand lane, in that case we have to wait and allow him to cross the intersection first. Second, no clear decision which cause a confusion. Third, relying on eye contact instead of rule. So as I said earlier, at an intersection, if there is a vehicle coming from the right hand lane, he will be having the priority. So we don't have to rely on a eye contact. And lastly, not reducing speed early while approaching. In Germany, rule decides, not gestures. Now let's summarize what should be the correct thinking process. At any intersection, we have to check in this order. Firstly, we need to check for a stop or yield signs. Then we have to check for the priority road signs. And lastly, we have to check for the traffic lights. If none of them applies, we have to use the right before left rule. Here, always ask who is on my right. So if there is anyone coming from the right hand lane, he will be having the priority. I have also recorded a practical driving video where we handle 3 vehicle intersections in real traffic. That will help you see how this sequence works naturally on the road. That's it from this video. Now you clearly understand how to handle right before left rule with 3 vehicles coming to an intersection.